15 seconds. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Paramita, you're on.
Welcome to the meeting number 6 of Spearhead Toastmasters. I am Paramita, Sergeant at Arms for today. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. You are now inside the code of conduct of a Toastmasters meeting. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and that it may not be possible to pause the recording. The following are the meeting rules. Please be advised that any behavior that disturbs the flow of the meeting will result in removal from the meeting room without any warning. Please ensure that your noise-making devices are either switched off or in silent mode. Please speak responsibly on religion, sex, and politics in your speeches. As far as possible, please keep your videos on, audio off, and applause flowing throughout. Be the kind of audience for others you would like to have for yourself. TMOD, TTM, and GE, please ensure a smart audio video check before handing over the respective role players. Role players, please rename yourself as role player - your name, your club name. You may omit the club name if you are a member of Spearhead Toastmasters. Please appoint yourself with the role of the timer. The timer will use background changes, sharing to indicate time using one of the 3 cards. Green means that you have reached the minimum qualifying time. Yellow indicates that it is good time to start concluding. Red specifies that you have 30 seconds more or you will be disqualified. Individual session timings will be explained in due time. We encourage you to use the Zoom emoticons generously to encourage the role players. We sincerely request you not to send chat messages to everyone or the speaker on stage. In fact, refrain from chatting altogether and focus on the speaker. Reiterating, please stay on mute until specifically requested to unmute. Polls will be launched after each section and they will be closed after 30 seconds. Now, I would like to introduce our presiding officer, who is a good leader and a charming lady. Please let us welcome with huge round of applause, Ragini Rajpal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paramita, for always opening the meeting on a high spirit. A huge round of applause for her. Welcome, fellow members, guests, to the 6th meeting of Spearhead Toastmasters Club. It feels wonderful to see some old gold and a few new, but all super fresh and smiling faces. Before I say anything further about the meeting, I am honored to announce that we have 2 justifiable, well-earned, richly deserved, best fit, right-minded, and I can go endless for these 2 remarkable members of Spearhead. Please help me congratulate distinguished Toastmaster Anant Katyayani for the newly elected Division Director of Division M, and Toastmaster Nimit Mittal for the newly elected Area Director of Area M4. A huge round of applause for both of them. Congratulations, and we are super proud. All the very best from Spearhead side, and we pledge to support you to the best of our abilities. Now I am proud to announce another announcement about our rising star, Toastmaster Surbhi, who has just joined Toastmaster a weeks back. She's exploring and showcasing her talent in various clubs and has also won the Best Table Topic Speakers Award in 3 clubs consecutively, namely Turning Point, Toastmasters Club, Proficient Orators, and Forbidden Forest. A huge round of applause for her as well. Now, my heartfelt gratitude to all the role players, the members, and the guests for making this meeting possible yet again. And now also allow me to acknowledge the presence of our guest today. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Padma, Toastmaster Pranav, who is also playing an evaluator's role today, Toastmaster Nirmala, who is also playing the speaker's role in our club today, Toastmaster Yamini, who is also playing timer's role for us. Then we have guest Deepak Kumar, Sher Singh, Pradyum Ganti, Ishika Sethi, and lastly, our guest Tarunbir, who is also a dear friend. Welcome all of you to the 6th meeting. Do you all believe in starting afresh? I do. It feels like coming out of a fog and finally see things around me again. Or maybe coming out of your quarantine after COVID. Although life doesn't come with a reset button, but you can always give your personal life or a Toastmaster life a fresh start anytime you choose. At the risk of simplifying, let me tell you, my Toastmaster of the day is also making a comeback in our Spearhead family after a long break. He's all set to fill the gaps today with his cryptic theme of blockchain, which I have no clue about, but is definitely keen to listen what our Toastmaster of the day, Pavan Kaushik, has in his store. Stay tuned and welcome on Spotlight our Toastmaster of the day, Pavan Kaushik.
So thanks a lot, Ragini. Just wanted to check my audio and video. I hope it's clear.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. And thanks for the nice introduction, Ragini. Much appreciated. A very good afternoon to fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I welcome you all once again to this wonderful Spearhead 6th meeting. So as a Toastmaster of the day, my responsibility is to introduce the theme of the day. So Ragini already talked about it. So today's theme is blockchain. This is a technology which has revolutionized the world. It has changed the traditional way of data computing. Everyone in this group must have heard about the Bitcoin, and few of you might have done some investment as well. Bitcoin, or a cryptocurrency, it's a digital currency introduced in 2009. It has no physical existence. However, you can see your balance in public ledger. It is not issued by any bank or any government authority. That is why this is not legal in many countries, but still it is very much popular because it is because of its high return that you get. If any one of you had invested just 25,000 rupees in 2015, it would have turned into 25 lakh rupees today. But here, I'm not influencing you to make an investment because with big returns, there are always big risks associated. Today, my focus is on underlying technology, which is blockchain, and that enables the Bitcoin. Blockchain was originally came into existence for Bitcoin, but it is capable of doing much more. It is a distributed ledger technology that can be programmed to record and track anything. And you guys might be wondering that we already have this process in place to track the data, then what is so special about the blockchain? So, well, that's what we will be exploring in a while today. But before I talk about those aspects, let me explain you the format of this meeting. So a typical Toastmaster meeting has 3 sections. The first section we call prepared speech section. In this section, we have speakers who will be delivering their speeches as per their respective pathways program. Now, talking about the second section of this meeting, which is our table topic section. In this section, I would say it's a fun part and my favorite part of the meeting, where all the members of this club, as well as the guests, speak impromptu on the table topic given by the Toastmaster, given by the table topic master. The third and most important section of this meeting is the evaluation section. Under evaluation section, we have evaluator who would evaluate these speeches of the speakers and share the feedback with them. We also give opportunity to the other members and the guests to write the feedback and share with the individual speaker to motivate them. In the whole meeting, there is a very important role player that we call GE, General Evaluator, who will be evaluating this meeting as a whole. So to explain the General Evaluator and other roles in detail, I want to invite our current president and the past area director, Toastmaster Ragini. Over to you, Ragini.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. I read it somewhere and believe it that there is a simple strategy to learn any skill. Practice, perform, repeat. Do it long enough till you master any skill. There is one warning though. There is no point repeating the same performance without improvising. It's important to take a feedback after performing and before repeating. In Toastmasters, we schedule an evaluation session in every meeting for this very purpose. In this session, all speakers and role players are appreciated for anything good they did. For example, putting a smiling face on, but more importantly, given feedback so that they can improve as they repeat. Now, as you can imagine, there's a lot of work. So I have a team who has volunteered to help me perform all this effectively. I request the tech master to spotlight the role players as I introduce them and describe their responsibilities. To make our communication concise, we have the timer and also a guest, Toastmaster Yamini. Can we please spotlight her?
It's not
Okay,
turned on the video.
it's okay, it's okay. Thank you. So Yamini will display the cards for every prepared speech, which is subjected to a time limit of 5 to 7 minutes. You will see the green light at 5, yellow at 6, and red at 7 minutes of time. There is a 30 seconds grace period on either side. Every table topic speech is subjected to a time limit of 1 to 2 minutes. You will see a green light at 1, yellow at 1.5, and red at 2 minutes of time. There is again a 30 seconds grace period on the upper side. Lastly, every evaluation is subjected to a time limit of 2 to 3 minutes. You will see a green light at 2, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3 minutes of time. There is a 30 seconds grace period on the either side. To make our communication filler words, we have the R counter, Toastmaster Rama. Toastmaster Rama will make the note of pauses, repetitions, sounds, and fumbles like ahs and ums, filler words like you know, so, I mean, etc., used by the speakers and role players. Thank you, Toastmaster Rama. To make our communication correct, we have the grammarian Toastmaster Surbhi, who would note down the good usages of this beautiful language and also let us know where could we have improved by noting down not so good usages or grammatical errors made by speakers and role players. Also, she has to introduce the word of the day, and I would pass on the stage to her to introduce the same.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. My main responsibility as a grammarian is to introduce the word of the day. So the word of the day is daunting. Daunting, which means seeming difficult to deal with in prospect. The synonyms of this word are intimidating or unsettling. I'll give you an example. Persistent practice is the only way to make even the most difficult tasks less daunting. Or this example is for me. Playing grammarian is a daunting yet rewarding task. I would request you all to use this word in your speeches and reports, and I'll be coming towards the end of the meeting when Miss General Evaluator calls me to give my report. Over to you, Miss General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surbhi. I encourage everyone to use the word of the day. And with this, I will present my report towards the end and hand over the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Pavan Kaushik.
Yeah. Thanks, Ragini and the entire team. Thanks for explaining the role in detail. So guys, coming back to the, our theme of the day, which is blockchain. So blockchain works on the concept of distributed ledger and peer-to-peer network. So these are the two important things that I want you to remember: distributed ledger and peer-to-peer network. These are little heavy words, and let's try to understand them with an example. But before that, I just want to let you know that this blockchain technology is not a new technology. Rather, it is an old ancient technology that our forefather had been using for many years. I'll explain you with a concept of selling a property in the old time. So suppose there is a village. In that village, a person A wants to sell his property to person B. Now, how would the transaction happen? Person A and person B will go to a village panchayat where the entire villagers are gathered together. In front of those people, person A will declare that I am selling my property to person B in return to these many gold coins or in return to something else. Now, when this transaction is happening, every single person who is a part of that meeting will get to know about this transaction, which means we are distributing that information. So imagine that information is a ledger, which is documented in the ledger, and that information is when shared amongst multiple people, we call it distributed. So this is a concept of distributed ledger. I hope it's clear. Now imagine person A will try to resell that property to person C. That's not possible because the entire village is aware of that transaction, because the transaction was not done in a closed room where just person A and person B and some centralized authority was sitting and making those agreement on the paper. Rather, the transaction happened with a wider group and everyone is aware of that transaction. So now, whenever person A try to resell that property to someone else, or maybe person B try to resell that property to someone else, the peer-to-peer networks come into the picture. To verify that transaction, that who is the owner of that property will be verified by peer-to-peer network. I hope this simple example has helped you to understand what is blockchain and its core principle, which is distributed ledger and peer-to-peer network. I would be sharing some more interesting facts about it, but let's quickly start with our prepared speech section. So our first speaker is, so let me introduce our first speaker first. So our first speaker is one who continues on who is on continuous improvement journey and working in a capacity to excellence, and she is here with Toastmaster to shine her leadership skill. But before I call upon our first speaker, let me ask her evaluator, Toastmaster Manpinder, to share the speech objective. So over to Toastmaster Manpinder.
Thank you, Bhavan. So Paramita is going to deliver her icebreaker speech today. And the purpose of her project is to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to the second speech. Timer, please note that time for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you.
Thanks, Manpinder. So this is the time to invite our Toastmaster Paramita for her speech. So Toastmaster Paramita, embracing challenges, Toastmaster Paramita.
Life is a challenge, and the way to the challenge is to stay calm and ask yourself, what is the next right move? Hello, my dear fellow Toastmaster and dear guest. I am Paramita, Taurian, born April 28 in a town called Chandannagar in West Bengal. Well, why I didn't mention my year of birth? Majority of you might be thinking in the same pattern that by virtue of a lady, we don't want to disclose our age or we don't like to talk about our age, but it is not the case here. Here, I want you to figure out and do some calculation while on this lazy Sunday, you just laid back and hear me out. So my age is 37 and your time starts now to calculate and let me know the year of birth in chat box. On a lighter note, life was beautiful till the time you were listening to me turn out into challenge while I threw this question. Moving back to my life, the first challenge I faced in my life was an injection trauma. At the age of 5, while my parents took me to the hospital for the booster dose, And while the doctor was preparing the injection, I simply ran away from the hospital, leaving my parents super embarrassed. At the age of 6, my mother took an appointment for ear piercing and took me to the doctor's chamber. And I did the same thing again. I made doctor fail by threw my hands and legs to him to keep him away to save my ear. And after several failed attempts, doctor got so frustrated, he asked my mother to take me back home and bring me at the time of my marriage if I agreed to pierce my ear then. You won't believe the fear was so daunting and deep-rooted that even any doctor visited my house for any other member's sickness, nobody could trace me in my house. I safely parked myself at my neighbor house till the time this doctor wouldn't left my home. But while I grew up, I started realizing that why I panic so much while others are so normal at it. So I started preparing my mind and decided that whatever it may be, if I need to take an injection, I would do it without a second thought. And the opportunity arrived. When my school set up a camp for the hepatitis B vaccination drive, I boldly registered for the same. But on the D-Day, I was double-minded. For a second, a thought crossed my mind that ran away. But I gathered my courage and got it done. Finally, I got it done and I overcome my fear. And I cannot express you how happy I was when I overcome my monster's fear. And all of this could happen because of my mother, who supported me at every step, and the handsome doctor who got his job done without having me realize that a needle has to be inserted in my body. Now, the second challenge or dilemma which I faced in my life is that what specialization I would opt at my class 2 level. As my parents wanted me to take science or arts as that was their background and they would guide me well. But my interest lied on commerce. As I don't have any vision to be a doctor or engineer, rather I wanted to be a manager in a firm or to be a hotelier, and for that commerce is a good subject, suited one. Hence, it took me several months to convince my parents that without their support, I could do good in commerce, and I did. I ranked first division and I kept my promise. And I made my parents proud. And believe me, on those days, scoring first division from a vernacular medium was not an easy task. But I put my heart into it and came out at the top. Then after life keep throwing me one after another challenges, but I keep batting with it without giving a thought to leave the field without playing. And I like to explore new things, and by the virtue of that, I did my MBA in supply chain management, specialization in transportation and logistics, which is again a typically male-dominated field. Post my MBA, I have worked with several organizations in core operations and in other fields as well. And that is again a different story altogether. You came to know as we progress in our Toastmaster journey and bond together. Since it is my icebreaker speech, so I thought to share small facts about me. I am not an introvert, I am ambivert. I am a big foodie and moody too. I love listening to music, singing, traveling, exploring new places, and Toastmasters. As to summarize, I would like to say that challenge or pain is opportunity in disguise. Face it, embrace it, overcome it, learn from it, and move ahead with life. Thank you so much. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster. A very nice, ice-breaking speech. You talked about your fear and how did you overcome. Very motivating. Thank you. Now this is the time to maintain 1 minute silence so that everyone, members and guests can write the feedback and share it. So timer, please note 1 minute silence. Let me know once the 1 minute is over. Okay, so this is the time to introduce our second speaker. So our second speaker believes in slow and steady learning and trying to be the best. But before I call upon our second speaker, let me ask our evaluator, Toastmaster Pranav, to share their speech objective. Over to you, Pranav.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. So Nirmala will be delivering her level 4 project 1 speech, and the title of her speech is My Journey to End Overthinking. Befitting title these days. So I'll be looking forward very much to your speech. All the very best, and back to you, T-Mod.
Thank you. So, yeah, hi, Toastmaster Nirmala.
There was a correction. The topic is My Journey Towards Toastmaster.
Yeah, no issue. So I invite you on the stage, Nirmala. My journey in Toastmaster, Nirmala. Over to you.
We lose 10 battles in our head rather than losing once in reality. So hello Toastmasters. I started my journey as a Toastmasters 2 years back. So I would take back my journey when I was a schoolgirl. So when I was in school in 8th standard, my parents changed my school from Hindi medium to English medium. And with change in school comes lot of difficulties. And in my life came the English barrier. So when I went and I was struggling really hard to get used to the English, and eventually I learned to. But by 8th and 9th and 10th, my sister principal, she had a lot of faith in me and she wanted me to become one of the members in cabinets. And I went and I was chosen as the information minister of our school. Being an information minister, I was supposed to make announcement in the assembly. But due to my fear of stage, coupled with my grammatical errors, I never took the opportunity. I never went up to the stage to make any announcement. And the year went by. And the fear kept on growing into me. And the fear was so gruesome that it did not allow me to make use of any opportunities in college and in further school and in my professional life. It kept on continuing. It continued, and in my professional journey, I started meeting people, those who were so good with vocabulary, so good at speaking that they could just come and then they would speak their mind and then win our hearts. But I was always a backbencher, even in my process. And I would just watch and I would just watch and watch. And I really wanted to have an improvement, but I did not know where, how. So one fine day, one of my manager, they just told me that we are about to charter a new club in our organization known as Toastmasters International. And with that, he helped me to understand that it will help you to gain public speaking skills, and it will help you to gain confidence. And thereby, the journey started. I was given the responsibility to speak on the very first day. I don't know why, but yes, it was really daunting to give a speech because I have never done it in my entire life. And at the age of 23, I was given a responsibility to speak in front of all. And the fear was so gruesome. I did not know how to deal with it. But with my manager's support again, I went ahead with that. And on the very first and on the day of speech, I got to know that there is another speaker. And the speaker, believe me, she was one of the best in our organization. She has hosted many events, and I did not anticipate that she would be a part of Toastmaster. But to my surprise, she was. And she gave her icebreaker. And till date, it is one of the best ice speaker I would have heard, icebreaker speech I would have heard. So after that, it was my speech. And what do you think how I would have done? With shivering, with I was shivering to very much, and everyone could make out that yes, I am shivering. And but I have to go and do it because I cannot back out at the last moment. So I went and I just spoke my mind, whatever it came to me. And to my surprise, everyone liked. And our mentor, he personally contacted me and motivated me that you haven't done in your entire life. And to my surprise, it was a good to your start. And with practice and consistency, you will really excel in your public speaking skills. And I have approximately completed my 2 years of journey in Toastmasters. And the when I went and I spoke there, it was really difficult for me to break the shell, but I had to do it because I cannot continue the fear I had in my life that I cannot speak. And I just went and spoke my mind. Though it wasn't the best speech I gave, but it was the much needed to come out of my comfort shell. So over the last 2 years, I have met many people in Toastmasters. There are two types of Toastmasters. First, first kind of people, those who do the meetings rigorously in the initial stages, and then eventually they fade away. Secondly, there are people, those who take it rigorously, those who practice, repeat, and they keep on doing it. So the question to each one of you is, which one do you want to be? Do you want to belong? And as I said, that we lose 10 battles in our head rather than losing ones in reality, as I kept on repeating to myself that you cannot do, and I couldn't do. But you just need one ray of hope that will give you the motivation to break that shell of your fear and get out of it. So Toastmasters has really boosted that confidence in me. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Nirmala, for sharing your story. You add just another success story to the Toastmasters Club. Thank you. So timer, please maintain 1 minute silence so that members and guests can write the feedback and share with Nirmala. Let me know when the time is over.
Hello, Toastmaster Pawan. 1 minute is over.
Okay, thank you. So with this, we are done with our first section, which was the prepared speech section. Now, let's quickly move on to the next section. So I talked about blockchain and its technology, and I hope the example I gave you, especially the concept of selling a property in the old time, has helped you to understand, the concept of blockchain in a general language. Now let's talk about centralized ledger. We talked about distributed ledger. Now let's talk about centralized ledger. Centralized means you are giving the power to one thing or one authority. If I have to put an example, you give your money to the bank and let bank control everything, which we call the centralized authority. They decide your daily limit, transaction charges, and they provide you the network that can help you to transfer your money from one account to another account. But if that network is not working, you won't be able to use your own money. With centralized control, with centralized power, there are chances of fraud, hacking, data tampering, and many more. In past, we have seen many a times with multiple banks, such kind of fraud happen. So to solve this problem, the concept of cryptocurrency came into the existence. Cryptocurrency, which is a Bitcoin, and there are other digital currencies also available. Cryptocurrencies are immune to counterfeit. They don't require a centralized authority. They are protected by strong and complex encryption algorithm. And I'll talk about those algorithms in detail so that you can understand this technology on the technical ground as well. But with that, this is the time to start our table topic section. And to start the section, I want to call upon our Toastmaster, Surjit. So I hand it over to Surjit to take it forward for table topics. Over to you, Surjit.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, good afternoon. One of the most exciting portion of the Toastmaster meeting is table topic session. The main objective is to challenge the member to develop their impromptu communication skill by answering unrehearsed question impromptu. We also give each member an opportunity to speak at each meeting. So we do this with our table topic session. Table topic session is specifically designed to develop 4 impromptu communication skills, and that is listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. Today, as a table topic master, I will ask question which is related to, and some questions are not related to our meeting theme. So your answer must be at least 2 minutes, and it should be 1 to 2 minutes. So the speaker who spoke more than 2 minutes or 2 minutes 30 seconds, so that will be disqualified. So let's start this session. So who want to go first? Please raise your hand. So starting with our experienced Toastmaster, A. Padamkumar.
Sure, Surjit. Thank you very much.
A. Padamkumar, what has life taught you recently? What has life taught you recently? A. Padamkumar.
I have been in the coaching business now for 4 years. And particularly during the pandemic, I have also been able to expand my clientele beyond the Indian borders. So like they say, for some, it has been a hit to their business. For me, it has been a boon. But what I have learned is that as compared to several people from within the country who came for their career advancement as their primary reason or motivation for coaching, I have a wide variety of people from overseas who come for coaching. One recent example is I am known in several circles as a great storyizer, as in a person who uses elements from storytelling to spruce up my speech and to make it more engaging and sticky. So I had a person from Canada who approached me and said, I have listened to your speech and I would like to become a storyizer. Can you help me? I told her that by itself, it is not a worthwhile objective, nor does it provide you the right kind of a goal to go after. I think you need to think over it a little more and come back and tell me, how is it that you plan to make use of whatever coaching inputs you are going to get so that you start something commercial out of it? And do you know what she came back with? She came back and said, make me a coach just like you. Make me a coach just like you so that within the next 2 years, I start servicing clients and bill for my services. I said, now that is a worthy objective. That is a great thing to coach. So now I always start every discovery session understanding how is it that it can be made commercially viable for the person who wants to be coached. And that has been a great learning for me. Thank you very much. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Padamkumar. That's a great learning that whatever you are delivering, that is helpful for people in outside of the Toastmasters. That's really a great learning. So I am seeing Sher Singh, he has raised his hand. So
Yeah,
so Sher Singh, where do you find inspiration? Where do you find inspiration, Sher?
no, I didn't get your question. Sorry.
Where do you find inspiration?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the question is very philosophical. As recently I started finding inspiration like corona pandemic is there. So I felt that we are just here in this world for a short time, and one day anyhow we are going to die. So I found my inspiration from that one day anyhow I'm going to die. So I started working fast, like it's motivate me, inspired me to wake up in morning and to have experience, to talk with people, to gain the experience as much as I can in this sort of life. So basically, yeah, that is bitter truth, as most of the people already know, and who don't know, ultimately they will come to know about this. So for me, it's been a motivational source and inspirational source to me, that how people just like that has gone from this world, and they were having they were just living their life happily. As I lost my good friend in my department, as I'm working in income tax department, and I lost my one of my best friend. He was an energetic, enthusiastic, so positive man, and he just lost his life. So I came to know that life is no longer just get inspired and do whatever you want to do. Just have your dream and run for to fulfill them. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sher Singh, for such a wonderful speech. And now move on to our next topic. So we have guest, Tarunbir Gill.
Hi.
So, topic for you is Tarunbir Gill. What gives your life meaning? What gives your life meaning, Tarun?
What gives meaning to my life?
Yes.
Oh my God, there are so many things which give meaning to my life. But first of all, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak in front of everyone. And thank you for making me part of this meeting, Ragini. So really honored. Um, my pet gives meaning to my life, to be honest. I decided to adopt him few months back, and before this I kind of felt really incomplete, and I felt something was missing in my life. And but the day I adopted him, he kind of completed me. Now my life kind of, circles around him. I live for him, I wake up for him. uh, my day is planned according to his needs and desires. So yeah, that's the main thing. See, I am not the kind of a person who lives for themselves. I'm the kind of person who lives for others. I like to give. And when I when my puppy feels happy, and when he's satisfied, that's gives me happiness. And yeah, that's about it. I'm sorry, I think I've not completed too much, but I hardly speak too much.
Thank you, Tarunbir.
You said enough.
So, you have very wonderful views about the life which that is you are giving, that little puppy is giving meaning to your life, and that's very wonderful and it's very cute. So move on to our next topic. So please raise your hands. Want to give it a try. So we have Rajesh. He has raised his hand. Rajesh. Yes. Who do you trust and why? Rajesh, who do you trust and why?
Thank you, Table Topic Master Surjit. Hope I am able to, I am audible and visible, right? Okay. To whom do you trust and why? See, in your professional life or personal lives, what I believe, you should be trustworthy. Not only the trustworthy, you should believe everyone. I always believe whenever I am talking or whenever I am meetings, I thought, yes, something is potential with him or her. That is the reasons I should believe or I should trust. In last year, when the pandemic started, when the pandemic started, that times due to some other reasons that I lost my job. So that times I was thinking that how I can maintain or manage my personal lives. First, one of my managers, one of my friend, I just talked with him and I told that yes, I'm going on this place. So he understood my situations and immediately he referred me his company. Without knowing me properly, but he refer and give good recommendation on my names. So if I'm in a good company because of him or her, that is the reasons you should trust everyone and you should believe that something is there. That is the reasons you need to trust. Over to you, Able Topic Master. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh. Move on to our next topic. Raise your hand.
We have guests. Can we ask Varmeet, Ishika if they would like to go for a topic? We also have Bathelene. We have Naveen also in the room. We had.
we have guest Ishika.
Yes, sir.
So topic for you is, do you see to believe or believe to see?
Sorry,
Ishika,
yes, sir.
do
Actually, I'm
you,
not able to hear you properly.
am I audible?
Yes.
Do you see to believe or believe to?
So it's glitching. Sorry, maybe I have network issues.
Okay. So do you want to repeat me or?
Ishika, I'm typing the topic in the chat. So Ishika, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So I believe in what I see. So what we see, we believe in that, and we start making our judgment on basis of that. So, and most probably, many people would agree to me that we make judgments on what we see and what we feel on the basis of if someone is polite, we make judgment on that, how would he be with other strangers too. So yes, actually I'm not much into that, but yes, I believe in what I see.
Okay, thank you, Ishika, for give it a try. Now move on to our next speaker, guest, Rupinder. Do you want to give it a try?
Sure, I will give it a try.
Topic for you is, Rupinder, what do you love to do? What do you love to do, Rupinder?
Mr. Table Topics Master, I'm afraid you walked right into this one. It can be a daunting question for others. For me, it is not. Because I like to do three things and three things in my life. I like to eat, sleep, and repeat. Once again, eat, sleep, repeat. Why do I like to eat? I heard my fellow speaker, Paramita, say that she is a big foodie. I think she's a liar. One, she's not big. I mean, this is big. What is covering your screens right now is big. And two, if you're not big, you can't be a foodie. Because if you are a foodie, then what am I? Others eat to live. I live to eat. Once I've eaten well, I'm satisfied. The next thing that I like to do is sleep. And I sleep contentedly. I believe that the best feeling in the world is when you wake up refreshed. If I do not wake up refreshed, I do not wake up. I go back to sleep until I wake up refreshed. You will find it very difficult to believe, but I have mastered the art of sleeping even when I am under stress. The client might be breathing down my neck. Where is my invoice? Where is my proposal? Where is my presentation? But if I have to take a 15-minute nap, I will take a 30-minute nap. So to answer your question, Table Topic Master, what do I love to do? Three things: eat, sleep, repeat, which reminds me I'm hungry again. Or maybe I'm sleepy. You decide, topic master.
Thank you, Rupinder, for such a wonderful uh, suggestions. That eat, sleep, and repeat. Now move on to our next topic. So we have yes, sorry. We have Deepak.
Yes, sir.
Topic for you is Deepak. What motivates you to go to work each day? What motivates you to go to work?
Sir, you are not audible.
Okay, I am sharing it in chat. Start with Deepak. Deepak.
Deepak, are you there? I don't know if you can hear us, Suji. We can ask Bathelene, she's there.
Bathelene.
Okay, thank you, Table Topic Masters, for giving this chance. What motivates me during on the work time? I think the topic is that one. The thing that I am a kind of person who motivates doing new things every time. So my boss, she's a kind of person, she wants to work, show me new things and work with her. So that makes me energetic and help me to work more with energy and vibrant manner. So the things that I motivate will be the knowing new things, exploring new things. And I also like to become busy within my workplace. So I don't want to spend my life, my working hours without doing nothing. I will be very busy even if I don't have my own private work. I am very positive to support my coworkers whenever they are busy. I'm the one who are very positive and voluntary to support every department. That motivates me the most. Over to the topic master.
Thank you, Bathelene. So move on to our next topic. So we have yes. Vishant Jyoti.
Manpinder wanted to give a topic. I think that will be the last topic. We can quick hold on.
Can I get a topic?
Okay, Manpinder. Topic for you, Manpinder, is perception versus reality. Perception versus reality.
Thank you, Surjit. Perception versus reality. Every morning, just 2 years back, or I would say 1.5 years back, it felt really difficult to wake up in the morning. When I used to go to the office at 8 a.m., that seemed really hard. And if my office used to allow me work from home even for one day, I would be really happy. I used to just being fascinated by those people who were allowed to work from home for at least 2 days a week. So I had this perception like sitting at home and working comfortably is much more easier and comfortable than going to office. Like going to office is really difficult. But my perception, what I thought, was really, really wrong. Just last year, when I came back to home, I was working, of course, that I was really tired of working and it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Working at home is not as fun. So I was thinking to leave my job from last 4 years, and at home, I finally decided to quit my job because it wasn't making me happy. I thought being comfortable at home and just enjoying my work just comfortably might make me happy, but it was something else. I thought maybe this is not what I wanted. My perception of a good work environment or a good job just really changed. So there are certain things that we assume could make our life perfect, but in reality, things are really different. This is what I have realized in last 1 year. Back to you, Surjit.
Thank you, Manpinder. So this was our last topic. So with this, I wrap up this session and I thank all the speakers for your wonderful views and give it a try. And so with this, I hand over the stage back to our uh, topic, team out of the.
Thank you, Surjit. I just wanted to confirm one thing before I proceed. Maybe Ragini, you can confirm about the voting. Should I ask for the voting now or after the evaluation section?
You
or the
can
best
vote and
speaker?
you can vote and continue, Pawan.
Okay, sure. So thanks, Surjit, for thanks for the table topics. Let me quickly talk about a few other aspects of the blockchain, which is the theme of the day. So I gave you enough example to understand, the basic concept of distributed ledger, its comparison with the centralized ledger and peer-to-peer network. Now let's talk about some of the tech components because that's very important for you to know, like how it works actually. Imagine, this is a block, okay? If I have multiple blocks and I keep on adding these blocks, they will form a chain. So this is called blockchain. But what every block is going to contain? Every single block is going to contain some information regarding a transaction. And every single block is going to have a head and a tail. The head of this block will connect to the tail of another block. And in this manner, they will make a sequence or a chain. Now, this chain will be shared with everyone who is there on the network so that everyone is maintaining a copy of this blockchain, which we call distributed ledger. If there is a transaction happening, how the new data will get added? We are not going to make any changes to the existing data, which is already there in the chain. Suppose if there are 10 nodes which already exist in that blockchain, and we want to make certain changes to one transaction, we're not going to make any changes to any of the existing block. Rather, we would be adding a new block in front of it. And whenever there is a new block added to the existing chain, a unique number is issued, which we call a hash number. A hash number is like a thumbprint, which is absolutely unique. And then it is shared with everyone. Now, if I talk about more detailed technical concept, so what would happen if suppose I have to add certain data or a new block into it? How would that happen? First of all, a computer, my own computer, will have to solve a cryptographic puzzle. Okay. Once that puzzle is solved, the solution of that puzzle will be shared with everyone. When I say everyone, I'm talking about peer-to-peer network. Everyone will get that result of that puzzle, and they will verify that whether that puzzle is accurate or not. Once they find out that puzzle is accurate, because that puzzle is also mapped with the hash number. Once we get the verification, then only a new data can be added to the block. So the combination of these maths puzzle and verification by various computers ensure that we can trust each block that we have in this chain. With this, what is happening? We are helping each other. There is no mediatory who is trying to help us make the transaction. Rather, it's the peer network that is helping everyone to do the transaction. I have few more interesting facts that I would be talking about around blockchain and its other use cases at the end of the session. But this is the time to start our evaluation section. So for evaluation section, I again want to invite our presiding officer or the general evaluator of this meeting, Toastmaster Ragini.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. With this, we land to the most important segment, that is evaluations. I will state my detailed evaluation for all the role plays towards the end of the section. To spearhead the process, let me first bring my team forward so that I can evaluate the team as well. I will start with the speech evaluators. With all due respect, I'd like to invite my first evaluator, Toastmaster Manpinder, on the stage to evaluate the speaker, Toastmaster Paramita.
Thank you, Ragini. First of all, heartiest congratulations on your first speech, Pramita. So Pramita, you started your speech with a question or a challenge, I would say. This is a perfect way to catch the attention of the audience, and everyone is aware to listen to what you say. You made the lazy brains think on a Sunday afternoon. This is a strong beginning, really strong beginning. Next, your speech was absolutely structured in terms of how you defined your challenges, how you presented the background story for each, and your learnings from each, and how you kept facing the challenges and winning each of the challenge in your life. What I liked most about your speech was your proper pauses. Even the best speakers struggle to take proper pauses at times, and you absolutely nailed it. So pauses help you regulate the rhythm of your speech, and each pause was well defining the content of your speech. And when you presented a dramatic story, your pauses actually defined the nature or the environment you were in, and your pauses at each of the challenge you faced, and the pauses when you presented a quote, it was absolutely like we were able to absorb everything, even though it's a quote or a learning. So everything was well defined. So this not only beautified your speech, but also gave us a good music to your speech. And we all enjoyed this music in your speech. The one thing that I noticed was the introduction that you presented at the end was a little bit disrupting the flow of the speech. That you're a foodie and introvert, it could have been brought to the beginning of the speech when you just started defining about yourself. Otherwise, the flow and the storyline, it was all perfect. And lastly, Pramita, your hand gestures were really natural and effortless, and you seemed very comfortable and confident while delivering your speech. And the quote that you gave at the last is something that we would like to keep with us for our entire life. So at the end, I would say an exemplary speech. Hats off to you. Back to you, General.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manpinder. And now I welcome our second evaluator, Toastmaster Pranav, to please evaluate Toastmaster Nirmala, our second speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ragini. First of all, let's go with a very chronological approach. And starting off, I would say that your commencement was right out of a textbook. And a textbook approach, a quote, and a date never ceases to captivate your audience. And so it did this time as well. So on the very commencement, it's a huge, huge deck. Moreover, there were many, many joiners. In the sense, there was a word. Eventually, there were words known such as however, even though. Now, these joiners, they draw me towards them because it dictates the flow of your speech. It portrays your speech as a cocoon, and it's simply elegant. Again, you stood great on that aspect as well. Also, as it was an anecdote to your whole speech, I think the audience was able to connect with you on a more deeper grounds. Right. So these are the USPs which I could decipher from your speech. However, I still have some recommendations. Rather, I have a recommendation which will entail every single aspect which I think I found amiss or could have been better. First, or rather, the only aspect is let's talk about the elephant in the room. You were sweating profusely. Now, sweating is not the problem. It's the repercussions of the same that are. It's a very daunting task to control your nerves when you're sweating this much. It's about borderline impossible. But again, you were able to pull that off. You were able to complete the speech. Also, while you were trying very consciously to hold down one end of the fort, the other ends were very vulnerable. All the conscious effort that you put into just the delivery of a speech on the part that we hear, just here, it was taking up energy from other aspects, rather the dexterity of the speech. For me, dexterity entails three things. First, tonality, that is voice modulation. Take, for example, in an ECG machine, as soon as there are spikes, there are lows, there are crests, there are troughs, a person is fine. But as soon as it becomes flat, the speech or the person dies down. And there were many instances where I think it went flat. So yes, maybe we could work upon that. Second, gestures. Now, I wouldn't flat out come and say it's a mess. No, the gestures weren't a mess. But as you were very consciously trying to put every ounce of energy into just the delivery, I think the gestures were a bit restrained. So it caught my eye in a bit jarring way. So I would say either make them very dexterous or remove them. I wouldn't say completely, but yes, make them in such a way that they seem dexterous. Third is expressions. This I would say, yes, they were flat out a mess. The expressions weren't there. It felt a bit monotonous in terms of just expressions. So all in all these aspects, I would say has to do with the confidence. Had you given a bit more preparation before your speech, I think all of these aspects, all of this dexterity would have followed you inadvertently. All three things: tonality, expressions, and gestures. So this is what I have for you. Having said that, I think the takeaway from your speech was truly amazing. Talent can only take you so far. Rest is perseverance, conviction, and hard work. So all in all, just work upon that confidence and you are a great speaker in the making. Back to you, Toastmaster Ragini. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. I would now provide a quick evaluation for the table topic speakers and for all of you. Thank you for taking up the step forward towards this daunting section of table topics. Before that, please cast your vote for the best speech evaluator. Thank you. Commencing with our table topic 1, speaker 1, distinguished Toastmaster Padamkumar. I have been hearing you from a while now. I'd appreciate you for something different today. First, you come up with such structured thoughts in such a short amount of time. Second, you couple it with right expressions. And that's what it makes it so smooth to watch and hear. Table topic speaker second was Sher Singh. You sure made some valid and relatable arguments and examples. Just a small recommendation, you had the line, life is too short, a couple of times, which could have been replaced by different lines or quotes. Table topic third was our guest Tarunbir. Despite being new to this game, you played that topic amazingly well. I'm sure all of our club members learned something from your philanthropic attitude today as well. Our table topic speaker fourth was Toastmaster Rajesh. Toastmaster Rajesh, I must say I was so intrigued by your words. You justified the meaning of trust with personal examples, very well portrayed. I want you to work on the conclusion part a little. Toastmaster table topic speaker fifth was Ishita. Ishita, I'm happy you took the courage to participate. Let me tell you, when I was new, I never dared to participate in table topics for the very first few meetings. Your speech had an opinion, and I would love to hear more from you in the upcoming meetings. Our table topic speaker sixth was distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. Now, the line of thoughts you used definitely never crossed my mind. I like the way you add a subtle humor and artfully involve a couple of members from here and there in your speeches, which is a takeaway which I learned today. Just a small recommendation, your speech was complete in itself when you concluded with eat, sleep, repeat line. So maybe the last line which you added could have been omitted. A table topic speaker 7th, Bethlem. I couldn't agree with you more. Keeping myself busy motivates you and it motivates me as well. So it was really relatable. It was a pleasure listening to your thoughts. I would want you to elaborate more because you have that in you that you have good thoughts. Just elaborate more so that we can hear more from you. Our last table topic speaker was Manpinder. Manpinder, that was real quick thinking on your part. You came up with the perception versus reality work idea, which was wonderful. So kudos on that part. With this, I conclude the table topic evaluations, and I would now ask my tag team to present their evaluations, and then I will present my report for the whole role plays in the end. With this, I welcome our grammarian, Toastmaster Surbhi, to please present her grammarian report.
Thank you, Ms. General Evaluator. I would like to share my screen to present my report. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
So the word of the day was daunting and it has been used total by 5 times. I would like to highlight the speakers who used the word of the day. Toastmaster Paramita Day as a speaker, Toastmaster Nirmala as a speaker, Toastmaster Rupinder as a table topic speaker, Toastmaster Pranav as an evaluator, and Toastmaster Ragini as a general evaluator. Now, there was a creative use of language. However, I would like to highlight the ones that appeal to me. Toastmaster Pavan, as the Toastmaster of the day, used distributed and centralized layer. He also used peer-to-peer network. Toastmaster Paramita Day, in her icebreaker speech, used a creative set of vocabulary like virtue, laid back, vernacular, ambivert, and also she used an idiom, opportunity in disguise. Toastmaster Nirmala used a word gruesome, which we seldom use. Also, she used some idioms like speak my mind, break the shell. Toastmaster Padamkumar, as always, used some words like boon and storyizer, which was quite new to me. Toastmaster Rupinder used idiom, client might be breathing down my neck, and also he used the word contentedly. Toastmaster Pranav used a good set of vocabulary, which included dexterity, jarring, captivate, and also an idiom, speech in a cocoon. Now coming to the awkward usages, there were not much awkward usages. However, I would like to highlight the ones that I observed. There was someone who spoke live for themselves. It can be better rephrased as live for oneself. Someone used I always believes. It can be better said as I always believe. There was a speaker who said what motivates you. It can be said as what motivates you. And coming to the mispronunciations, there was only one word which was mispronounced, and it was taught. I repeat, the mispronunciation was taught. The word is mispronounced, and rest I would like to share my report in the WhatsApp group, and so that you all can have a detailed look and use some words in your further speeches. Thank you, and over to you, Ms. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surbhi. With this, I welcome my second evaluator, who is an accounter, Toastmaster Rama.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. Now I would like to share my screen. Good evening, everyone. So my role was to track R's, arms, filler words, pauses, and crutch words. Now I would like to appreciate those who spoke flawlessly and they didn't use arms and filler words
including Ragini, Padamkumar, and Rupinder. Many congratulations to them. Now coming to those who also spoke flawlessly, but at the end they dropped R's and Ams, including Paramita, Ragini, Surbhi, Paramita as a speaker, Nirmala, Manpinder, Pranav, Bathelene, and Manpinder as a table topic speaker. Now I would like to comment for those who used R's and Ums multiple times. Pawan had R's 12 times and 1 repetition. Surjit had 9 R's and 2 repetitions and 4 so's. Sher Singh had 10 repetitions and 10 R's, 1 repetition and 1 so. And Tarunbir had 9 R's and 2 so's. That's it. And today we used 65 times R's, 9 repetition and 7 so's. Thank you so much. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rama. With this, I welcome Toastmaster Yamini to present her timer report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ragini. First of all, thank you for inviting me to be a part of the Toastmaster meeting today on a daunting Sunday. Now I'd like to share my screen for the report. For the prepared speeches section, Speaker 1, Paramita, took 6 minutes 53 seconds, and Speaker 2, Nirmala, took 6 minutes 42 seconds. Both of them are qualified for voting. For table topics, Speaker 1, Padamkumar, took 2 minutes 11 seconds. Sher Singh took 1 minute 46 seconds. Tarunbir Gill took 1 minute 27 seconds. Rajesh took 1 minute 46 seconds. Ishika Sethi took 52 seconds. Rupinder Singh took 2 minutes 15 seconds. Bathelene took 1 minute 28 seconds. And Manpinder Kaur took 2 minutes 10 seconds. So all the table topic speakers were eligible for voting except for Ishika Sethi. For evaluators, Manpinder Kaur took 2 minutes 35 seconds for evaluation, and Pranav took 3 minutes and 19 seconds. So both of them are qualified for voting. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yamini. Talking about fiascos and successes, my evaluation for the meeting and role players will follow a sequential order. Commencing with Sergeant at Arms, the Sergeant at Arms began the meeting with great enthusiasm, spot on time, that made other participants also equally excited about the meeting. Our Toastmaster of the day, you chose a strong theme which could be known to some or completely unknown to others. It was really informative, carried well. You took a note of time, so kudos. I like the use of AirPods, covers, and stuff to demonstrate your ideas. Table topic master, very generic and thoughtful topics. A few glitches on network, absolutely okay. And why I mentioned it is to tell my audience that this is the new normal, which we are accustomed to, and we need to embrace it. Make the best use of these challenges, which table topic master today portrayed through typing the topics in the chat box. So kudos. Now our speech evaluators, Toastmaster Manpinder and Toastmaster Pranav. Meaningful commendations and recommendations. Thank you for setting up an ultimate example of critical evaluation, attention to details with a third eye on. Now my biased love to the girl power, also known as my tag team today. Starting with my timer, Toastmaster Yamini. Thank you for taking it up the very last moment. Role was very well explained. Times were properly read out. Timer cards were shown appropriately. Our counter, Toastmaster Rama, report was detailed. You always set an encouraging tone, greeting everyone, taking it slow yet completing it with great equanimity. A small recommendation: when the fillers are more than 8 to 9, you can simply say multiple, just a small tweak in the report rather than counting to 15, 20, 12, whatever, just say multiple. Lastly, my grammarian Toastmaster Surbi. Role was very well explained. Word of the day was explained verbally as well as through the chat box. I like the way you pushed it into the chat box every now and then for an alarm to all the members to use it. And I saw people using it multiple times. Your evaluation was crisp, to the point. Highlights were the innovative presentation, which I could see a lot of efforts taken in making the presentation. You did absolutely well. Just a little recommendation. I sensed a little fast pace in your speech, maybe for the motive to complete on time, but you can calm down a little there. Overall, meeting was conducted very smoothly. Speeches did not feature offensive language. And to learn more, I'd now pass on the stage to our Toastmaster of the day, Pawan Kaushik. Thank you.
Thank you, Ragini, and the entire tech team for sharing the report. Before I proceed, just wanted to make a small correction. The grammarian of the day, they mentioned in their report about distributed ledger. So it's not L-E-I-S-U-R-E, it's ledger, L-E-D-G-E-R. The ledger, like where we maintain the record, it can be anything. Okay. So today we talked about distributed ledger. We talked about peer-to-peer network, data blocks, and hash number, which is a unique number like our thumbprint. So these are the main, concept that we need to understand when we talk about blockchain. This technology is changing the world. Many companies are adopting this technology to bring more transparency in the transaction, to bring more security and improve customer experience in different ways. And there are many use cases beyond, the cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. Like it can be used for social media, identity management, even it can be used for election purposes where, everything is going to be super transparent. It can be used for supply chain, medical records, for software verification. I am very passionate about this technology and working on some of the exciting use cases. And I hope that you all like this topic and it has helped you to understand some of the basics concept of blockchain. Now with that, I would like to hand it over to our presiding officer to conclude the meeting. So over to you, Ragini.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, for that wonderful insight to your theme, blockchain. And I think I've been on spotlight half of the time today. Bear with me a few more minutes as I take the feedback from our respectful and involved interactive guests. Commencing with, okay, before that, let's vote for the best auxiliary role player.
There is also the poll for best role player after this will be launched. So
okay, do you want to portray the?
You can continue.
Okay, thank you. So commencing with Sher Singh. Please provide us the feedback.
Yes, yeah, Ragini.
Yes.
Actually, I have been in many Toastmaster meeting, even though I was in one Toastmaster meeting before you, but the quality and the way of conducting in this in your Toastmaster meeting is awesome. I feel a very good quality that how you manage the things. You all guys are awesome and so passionate and like Rupinder sir. And I felt the difference. Initially I was thinking that all Toastmaster meetings are somehow equal, but I was wrong. When I have been in a previous meeting, then I compare to this meeting, there is so difference. So I love a lot to be here in this meeting. Yeah, I would learn a lot of things from you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Sher Singh. Toastmasters is all about maintaining positivity and encouragement. And we are very thankful and grateful for the appreciation. Moving on, we have distinguished Toastmaster Padamkumar. Can we have your feedback for our today's meeting?
So, in my opinion, a general evaluator gets the opportunity to give feedback to everyone, but probably does not get the opportunity to receive feedback. So I just wanted to say that you did a brilliant job once again today. And I think you're picture perfect in terms of the way you play your role. I love the kind of wordplay that you have, and your perfectly calm, composed way of delivering this. It almost appears as if you kind of mucked up the entire content and you are delivering it with such elan. Hats off to you, kudos. And considering what age you are at and what stage you are at, I'm shudder to think what will be the stage in 25 years or 20 years from now. Where will you be? And I definitely love to see you right at the top. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Padma, for your kind words. And your appreciation really matters a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you for the feedback. Moving on, we have Bathelene Workney. Please let us spotlight her and have her feedback.
I really enjoy the meeting. It's my third time attending your meeting. I am the member of Toastmasters Club here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I didn't get the opportunity before the speaker, when the speakers are speaking, but I joined the slides during the table topic. The topics are very deep variety. I really enjoy it. The evaluation was very constructive. Kudos. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Bathelene. You've been our designated guest in our meetings, and it's really helpful for us to evolve as well. So thank you for being there. Next, we have Deepak Kumar. Please, can we have Deepak's feedback? Sensing none, I think Deepak is facing some network issues, so we'll come back to him later. Let's have our next guest, Tarunbir, to provide her feedback.
So thank you so much, Ragini. It was an awesome session. I can only second Padamkumar's point of view. You have been amazing, and you always are amazing, and you're going to go really, really far ahead. I mean, I can only imagine. It was an honor being here, honestly speaking.
Thank you, Tarun. It was your first meeting, and we are glad you enjoyed it. And thank you for your kind words and the feedback. Looking forward to see you in the upcoming meetings as well. Next, we have Toastmaster Pranav, who also played a role today. Please welcome Pranav and provide your feedback.
Well, it always is a very huge learning experience. The curve here is seriously very steep. Even the last time I came here, Ragini wasn't here, and she invited me to the club. I pinged her right off the bat that it's been an amazing experience, and I'm even willing to let go of the other meeting I had. Also, the energy this meeting exudes, it's completely outright brilliance. However, the last time there was this a bit of I felt a bit intimidated because of all the structure that prevailed around here, all the people who are here. I felt a bit intimidated, bit overwhelmed. But this time around, it was all in thin air. It was an experience of a lifetime for me. So thank you so much for having me. Hope to join you guys again very soon. Back to you.
Thank you, Pranav. Thank you for adding that extra spark to our meetings with your presence. And indeed, we always face a mix of emotions in every meeting and a mix of learnings. Next, we have Toastmaster Yamini, who also played the timer's role. Let us have her feedback.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ragini. Again, I'll agree with Toastmaster Padamkumar and Toastmaster Tarunbir that the general evaluator role that he played was amazing. Also, the entire meeting was very well organized and structured. So yeah, a very positive learning curve that I see here, and will love to be a part of it again if I get a chance. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Yamini, and thank you for taking up the role the very last moment. And thank you for the feedback. Next, we have Sher Singh with us. Please, can we have your feedback?
Yes. Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't hear about what feedback.
Feedback about the meeting.
Yeah, I think I already given the feedback. Yeah, it was awesome. I have given the feedback.
Thank
You want me to repeat?
Sorry. Mistake on
Okay.
my part.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Sher Singh. We have Vishant Chaudhary, I think, who's left. Let us have Vishant Chaudhary on spotlight, please. So, Vishant, are you able to hear us? I think no. Okay, and I hope nobody else is left. Yes, nobody else is left. So thank you everyone for being a part of this meeting and spending time with us and your wonderful words. Before we close, a very important announcements for all the Toastmasters that our honorable member, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, is conducting a session on pathways at 6 p.m. today. This is going to be beneficial for all of you, especially the newcomers. And trust me, it's worth it, especially when coming from Rupinder himself. So I urge all of you to attend this session, and the details will also be forwarded in the WhatsApp group after the meeting. And now I pass on the stage to Rupinder himself to present the certificates for the winners. Rupinder, do we have you?
Yes, you have me. I was speaking when I was muted. So I have shared the URL in the chat. That is the URL for the pathways session. You are new to Toastmasters, would like to know more about pathways, or if you know someone who's new to Toastmasters and would like to know more about pathways, please tell them to register and join. Beginning with our certificates, I'm sure you can see my screen. I'm sure you're tired of listening to me saying that this is an automated system and we use this to generate our certificates and that. I don't know. Let's just get started. Our first award today is a standing ovation, and standing ovation is a tradition that is unique to Toastmasters. Every time somebody gives out their first speech, they receive a standing ovation when they give their icebreaker. And it used to be when they gave their last speech, they would get a standing ovation as well. The difference was that the first standing ovation was gifted, the last one was earned. I have no doubt in saying that today our icebreaker speaker, Toastmaster Paramita, she earned her standing ovation. And congratulations, Toastmaster Paramita. Keep up the good work. Now we move on to the best 3 table topic speakers. Some new entries in there and some known faces. Starting with the 3rd best table topic speaker today, we have a person attending the meeting for the first time, a speech that resonated with me because I lost a pet recently. Many congratulations, Tarunbir Gill. The 2nd best table topic speaker is also a role player. Many congratulations, and she happens to be my protege. So it makes me immensely proud. Manpinder Kaur. And yes, I lost to you, but I would love losing to you every time. The best table topic speaker, the usual suspects return. only he had less competition today. Many congratulations, Padamkumar. We should just institute a lifetime achievement award for you or something like that. Then the best speech evaluator. Now this was a very close call by the thinnest of margins, making me very proud. Manpinder Kaur once again for the win. Great job, Manpinder. Excellent evaluation. Now this is a prime example of acting on the feedback that was given to you and following that feedback. So good job done, Manpinder. Make sure this is not your best performance. The next one is even better than this one. Another example of following on feedback and coming back stronger was demonstrated by our best auxiliary role player today. Like I often say in mystery novels, it's the butler who did it. I call this role the butler of auxiliary role players. Many congratulations, Grammarians. Great job done. Now, when it comes to the best role player, again, a very close fight between our returning Toastmaster of the day, which, by the way, was an eye-opener. Pawan, it is always a pleasure to listen to you. Last time I heard you talk about cyber security, I walked out a more learned person, and today it was no different. I have a much more clear concept of blockchains. Not that I'm going to teach to anyone, but it was an awesome, one of the best Toastmaster of the day roles that I've ever seen. The winner today, actually, is a person who was donning multiple hats and is trying her best not to smile too wide, but she should. Many congratulations, Rajini Rajpal. Great job done. And our best table topic speaker today. She really threw the gauntlet down and emerged as a winner. What a wonderful way to start your Toastmasters journey, Paramita Day. And now I will go back to my Excel sheet and I will hit this button and you should receive these certificates in your inboxes. If you do not, let me know. I'll figure out what to do next. Thank you very much. And I will stop sharing my screen. With the permission of the presiding officer, maybe we can stop recording the meeting.
No, 1 second. We've missed out on a very special, important element, which is a group fee. So let's have a group fee first. I request everyone to please open your videos and put on your best smile for a group fee. Rupinder, you're on mute if you're speaking something, but I don't mind.
I said that I haven't had food, so my best smile will be a challenge.
That's why I said I don't mind. It's okay.
Okay.
Are you taking a picture?
Somebody has to take a picture. Let's do this.
And what does that mean?
Live long and prosper. Spot.
Very difficult, isn't it?
Yes. I've been doing it since the 1980s, the first time I saw Star Trek. So you weren't born at that time.
I'll take the screenshot.
Okay.
Done.
Thank you. Just send the screenshot to me. I need it for the YouTube video. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Yes.
Thank you.